So, hey, welcome everyone today for Deep Target's Customer Success webinar for May 18th. We're so excited to be here today with you guys and share a really important topic. It's all about the reporting and analytics inside of Deep Target's DXP. I have my famous sidekick with me, Helen. How are you doing today, Helen?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. And I love looking at my picture there. That's pre-COVID, by the way. So that's why I'm not sharing my screen. So hey, everybody, we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about today. So we're super pleased to have you with us. Remember, we're going to have a recording of this that'll be on our YouTube channel if you need to go back and review some of the capabilities, because we're going to cover a lot of things today. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about campaign-specific reporting, summary level reporting, and a whole bunch of other ways that you can report, which are really fun to work with as well to do analytics on. And we're going to talk about KPIs, certainly the ones we have today, and we've got a couple of more coming this summer. Many of the examples we're going to use are actual case studies of customers. So we're excited to show those. And then finally, we're going to have our Java Joy today. So great to have everybody with us today. So I want to remind everybody that we look at this engagement lifecycle, which is always occurring. And we know that Deep Target takes care of, I'm going to say, the bottom two, or the one at the bottom, the one on the left, who, discovery and identity of really relevant customers and members, and then how you engage them are those campaigns. But once you turn them on, they take care of themselves, certainly, until you intervene. Either the data changes or you step in and do some things. And that's really important. We can't underemphasize enough how, or overemphasize enough, how much the reports and analytics will help you see how you're doing, okay? So I'm going to reiterate that again in this slide. So where's Deep Target focus? We're always focused on a great user experience and helping you grow your sales and services to your members and customers. And by service, we really mean by helping you achieve financial success for you and your community. And the keys to that are measuring. So if you don't look at how you're doing, how do you know if you're successful? So we're coming up with more and more ways to help you see that easily. And so it can help you then determine how to better implement your engagement. Okay. All right, great. So Helen and I have assembled quite a few areas inside of Deep Target's DXP, which will help you understand your performance. Certainly the dashboard gives you a great macro view of how you're performing. Then we've got your campaign performance report at a micro level, each individual campaign category level, which gives you all sorts of ways to look at your results at a summary level, and then you can drill down. Influence conversions and sales with account opens that you've influenced at a summary level, product level, and account type that you may not be aware of. And the management report, once again, summaries, monthly trends, and then our new growth grid, which we're real excited about. We hope everybody's taken a peek at that. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about basically 8 ways to report in Deep Target. These are overarching ways, but there's many others, if you will. We'll talk a little bit about each one of those as we go forward. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Helen. So Helen, what about that dashboard?
Okay, hey, a lot of us focus on doing the content creation and management of that, but we do want to spend a little bit more time looking at reporting and analytics, seeing how well your campaigns are doing and everything. So what we would recommend is every time you log in, just take a quick look at your dashboard to see what's going on. That can tell you just the overall health of your campaigns and everything. So just as a reminder, if you look at the campaign mix, that's the donut chart that tells you, how many campaign categories you have running. The more colorful your chart, the better coverage you have across all your campaign, across all your products. And then you can look at today's impressions and clicks. That's the gauge that gives you the real-time or almost real time, look at how many impressions and clicks have been going on today. And then you can look at the impressions for the last 7 days. You want to see which campaigns are getting the most views. You may need to adjust your priorities based on what you're seeing there. We always say, sometimes you work at a quarter level when you do your campaigns, but you may want to change your prioritization monthly. So that's a good idea to, go in there and take a look at that chart for those. And then it's not shown on here, but we have the average age of your campaigns. If they're aging, if they're over 90 days, since you last updated some things, we recommend doing an update to your content, even if it's just changing your font or your color scheme or something like that. That's always a good way to get, new interest in your campaigns that you have. And then we've got KEI. Now, the KEI that shows on the dashboard is your overall key engagement indicator that lets you know how many users it is taking to get a click. So the lower the number of your KEI, the better off you are. Out in industry, I think we're looking at 1 in 2,000 is kind of the industry standard. So if you have any KEI that's less than 50, we think you're doing an outstanding job.
That's exactly right. And it's based on unique users into the app, getting an impression, right? So, and Helen's right that 1 in 2,000 is the industry standard for a click-through. And I want to add one other thing over here back on the campaign mix that you have. Remember, we probably are the only system out there that offers unlimited number of campaigns. So you can target as very specific as you'd like, and therefore not be limited to the number of campaigns. So awesome. Okay.
And I want to mention another thing too, because we talk about this over time, but you may say, well, we're really only wanting to push maybe CDs this quarter. We don't need any loans and things like that. However, you've got mobile users who may not, just kind of go out to your website a lot. So they may not be browsing around on your website. So it's always good to get things in front of some people to, spark some interest in some of those others. You can put them on there, but just put them in a lower priority.
That's right. That's exactly right. If you're advertising on your website certain products or services, you should also advertise those inside of your online banking and mobile apps. Absolutely. Okay, great. Thank you, Helen. Number 2, I think.
Okay, number 2 is, you might want to say, how do I know how well my campaigns are doing? What's my click-through rate? Well, you can look at that at a campaign level, or you can look at it as a kind of holistic level across all your campaigns. So at a campaign level, you're going to go to each your campaign has a campaign flyout and it says, campaign performance. That's where you're going to go. And it'll show you that campaign's unique users who have seen the ad and your unique clicks. And it also shows you the click-through rate for that particular campaign.
And what about that campaign click-through rate? So you guys, as Helen said, for each individual campaign in this chart, it'll show you 7.24. That is phenomenal. We say anything that's 1% or better, that's great. Well, that's a 7%. That's an actual customer out there getting a great result on their skip a payment campaign.
And all these click-through rates, you can see you can have a start and end date. So, you can choose that. So
that's right. That's right.
So the other way you can go to look at it, I find a really good way to look at them is to go into the campaign category analytics report and choose that table view. And then you can look at it for all of your campaign types that you have, but you can just look at it, for one particular campaign type.
That is awesome. And look at the results this particular customer is getting, which is just amazing. So, and they have a great mix of all their products and great click-through rates. Phenomenal. Okay, great, Helen. Next slide. Perfect. Did you want me to speak to this one, Helen?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Perfect. So just a reminder, when you go to the individual campaign, and it's actually throughout the product, you have to kind of watch for it. But for each individual campaign, you can export the clicks directly out of that campaign. And the reason that's kind of cool is if you wanted to, for just let's say for the last week or even for the last 24 hours, you can set your date start and end dates over here and then hit an export. But before I go into that, you might be curious, well, what fields do I have access to? Well, notice this gear here on the top right. If you click on this gear, it will open up and show you what fields you have available for download. And quite often there's just a few that are checked, so you might want to check them all. But you might also go, there's a field in here that I would really like to have that is not in here. Well, reach out to us because we can help you add that field in your data load and make sure that you have access to it so you can export it if you'd like. But you push this export button here and down to your machine will come CSV, and then you can work with it. So this is an actual download. All of the private information has been removed, but you'll see campaign name, campaign category, what channel are we looking at, when was the first click on the 17th. So within this one particular session, this individual was inside for looks like 8 minutes that they were in the actual app. They clicked 4 times. And so what we've done is we've sorted on the click count so that you might reach out or your team might reach out to those individuals that have clicked multiple times. And this was in just the last few days. And so those are the ones most interested. So you might want to make sure that they're aware that you're standing by to help if they'd like some help. So the other thing is I've removed a bunch of other fields that you can also use for analytics to understand what branches your individuals are located with. Maybe you focus your campaigns on a particular branch. There are age. We often have, and I think we always have, age of the individual customer members. So you might want to focus depending on those, if they're a particular generation that are most interested, you could focus on them. So a lot of different ways that you can do analytics to improve your overall relevant members and customers that are interested right now. Okay.
And David, I want to mention something on that. You mentioned branch, which is a good one, because we have some customers who get the list. They have somebody that's kind of the gatekeeper of the list, and then they may sort by branch, and then each branch has their own lending officer or something that they send out, that to each one, or they can, you can always set this up as a scheduled report. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, where that branch's lending officer can, they get the report, they sort by their branch, and they just take care of the ones that are in their area.
Awesome. That's right. That's right. So just be thinking about that and reach out to us. We can go through some different use cases with you personally. Okay. All right. Great. Helen, number 3.
Okay. So this is where you go to your campaign category analytics report. This is one of our favorite ones to look at because this lets you know what's going on across all your campaign categories here. What you're seeing here is a high-level view per campaign category, but you can also look at compare channels where you can look at it per channel. So I think that's on that next slide that we got, where you can see the same information, but how is it broken down? This is broken down by channel type. So here the blue is online, the pink is mobile. So you can see in these instances, a lot more impressions are being seen. These are unique impressions being seen in the mobile channel, and you're getting a lot more clicks here too.
Perfect. Good.
And as I mentioned before, you can always export your leads manually, but, save yourself some time. We really recommend you go in under report, schedule report, go in there and schedule your lead list to go out, daily in the morning, or you can do it once a week, and that gets sent out to specific individuals you want to send it to. You can send it to any number of people. There's no limit to the number of people that you send your reports to. So you can do your lead list. That's what we're focusing on here. But also your monthly management report can be scheduled.
That's right. So just remember, and many of our customers do this at 8 a.m. every morning. They have a lead list go out to their 5, 10, 12 branch managers, and they will look through based on their branch and follow up on those individuals that have identified their branch as their home branch to go see if they can help them with a product or service. So very, very powerful capability, and it's all automated. And then I'll just point out, you can also automate sending the monthly management report. I know many of you guys take the management report and I'll say clean it up a little bit, focus on certain aspects for your management team, but you can just send it to yourself as a reminder, you and your team perhaps. Many do that as well, right, Helen?
That's right. A lot of people use that for their, monthly board meetings.
That's right. Okay, great. Number 4, Helen.
Okay, so this is how you can look at your KEI. That's your customer, your key engagement indicator. So we talked about the dashboard that gives you your overall look. But then if you want to look at it by channel, you're going to run your management report, and that's where it reports per channel if you want to see what your engagement is per channel.
Perfect. So how do I know what the KEI and KMI mean?
Well, if you ever want to know how KEI, what is a KEI, what is a KMI, and how they're calculated, if you go under the support section in your menu, there's support resources, and there's something called Deep Target Reports. You just right click on the Deep Target Management Report overview, and that will tell you how that's calculated. So
awesome. And it's easy to understand once you read the report. I'm going to throw in here, there's some other very interesting articles in here. One of my favorites is detargeting. I'll just throw that out there as a hint. Make sure you look into that so you can have campaigns turned off automatically if a certain amount of engagement does not occur. Okay.
And
really,
I'm going to throw out a challenge here. This isn't part of reporting, but if there is something that you would like to see in our resources file, let us know and we'll get that uploaded.
That's a great point. Good. Thank you, Helen. Good. Number 5.
Okay, so this is the big one, influence conversions. So how do you know how the effectiveness of your campaigns? Well, one is looking at your click-through rate, but the other is how many new accounts were opened based on your campaigns. How many people did you help get it in a home? How many people did you help with a loan? This is really important. So on this one, you're going to run your management report, and there are 3 tabs there. And on the front page, you've got your influence conversions. That's on that'll give you a high level. But if you choose your growth grid tab,
and
that is going to show you.
Before you do that, before we do, just a reminder, this is where you'll see your KMI. And I know it's kind of hidden out there, but this is another way to understand how your impressions influenced a new account open or conversion. And we have a whole scaling system just like the KEI behind it. And I'll give you a hint. The KMI we're going to pull out of this report. We're going to leave it in the report, but we're going to pull it forward to the dashboard in our release coming this summer. So you'll enjoy being able to see that without running this report. Okay. But to Helen's point, you're going to press this 3rd tab and get this guy.
So your growth grid is going to be broken out by account type. So you're going to have, and it's going to be separated by loans, deposits, and commercials, and business accounts. You're going to see it by month. You're going to see how many new accounts were opened for each particular product type for each month. And then you're going to have a total. And then you're going to look at your total revenue that you gained from that.
Exactly. So 2 things really jump out at that we find this report being so valuable. First of all, just look at the difference between the green and the red. What this tells me is this particular customer, and this is customer data, was not running any credit card campaigns the first 4 months of this year, and therefore received no influence conversions from it. Same with home equity loan, mortgage. That's a little different, takes a little longer. There may be a campaign running, but auto loans, they turned them off in February. And where's the used? Used continue to run, but they stopped the new one. And no IRAs, no money market, no savings, and so forth. So it shows you where you're missing opportunities for new account opens or for servicing your customers and members that need your help. So that's really important to understand. And it's only calculating. So the second one is the revenue, but it's the estimated first month revenue. So for instance, consumer loans, most of them run 12 months, 24 months. We're only taking into account the first month, meaning the first month, January, of the opening of that new loan. Okay, so there's actually a lot more value behind it as well. Okay, all right, Helen, ready? Number 2.
Another way that you can look at your influence conversions is go to the influence conversions report. And when you do that, you can do that over time. You can look at that by all of your accounts right now. This one is showing we had 972 since the beginning of January through the end of April. And that's looking at all account types, but you can drill down and show different kind of displays here. So we want to show you this one is that, the other one was just like the comprehensive one. This is still showing 972, but it's showing you by each account type that you've got there. So you can see it by account type, campaign type, I guess. Yep. I would say. And then you've got another option that you can drill down even further. If you had only selected one of those, you could drill down in what campaigns. But this one, I'm going to look at CDs. So of the CDs, I have different products that are CDs. Most everybody out there has many, many products for CDs. They might have 6 month, 9 month, 18 month, 12 month, whatever. And so in this particular example, you can see all the products over here on the right, the S13s, S34s. This is going to show you what product types were open during that time frame.
Perfect. So a lot of ways to look at it. I think we've got one more way. Is that right?
We got one more.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
And then you can look by campaign. So I want to see, before I was looking at the campaign type, the product that was open, but on this one, I'm going to look at what campaigns were running. So this is saying, that Save to Win B, that one was the most effective campaign.
That's right. So now we can tie the exact campaign directly to account opens. And let's see, I can't see it on my slide because of the menu I've got at the bottom, but you can export this data every time. So all of these, see that gear again? So see how it shows up on multiple screens? I'll go back, there's that gear. I can export, I can see every single customer member who opened each one of these accounts, when they had their first impression, when they clicked, and when the account opened. So you see that entire journey in the export file that's generated for you. So really powerful capabilities. We're just showing it to you visually, but there's other ways to get it, right? Which is number 6 again.
Yeah, and so this is, how are you going to verify the revenue that you gained? Deep Target has set up some defaults here for account type. But we encourage you to go in and put your institution's average monthly revenue per account type there. So you can go in, all you have to do is go into settings and average revenue values and just choose, just go to what account type you have and then put in the value that you're getting there at your institution.
That's right. That's right. I think we had one of our customers said they actually made $7 and they estimated the first average monthly for checking was like $7.83. So we have some very specific averages as well that can be placed in here. So awesome. Okay. 7.
And one of the things it's good to do is, compare your current with your past results. Now, we always say, anything from 2000 20 forward have been kind of interesting years. So, maybe you don't want to compare this year to 2020 because, just different world we were living in. But, go back, look at your current year, look at your previous year, seeing what worked for you last year as compared to this year. So that's a good way you can go in there.
Well, and just as a reminder, depending on how long you've been a customer of DTarget, you can go back 2 years into your historical campaign results. Now, there's a caveat: you need to leave those campaigns out there. A lot of we suggest reusing campaigns, like if you run an auto loan, just leave it running, modify it each time, right, Helen?
That's right. Don't delete.
Don't delete your campaign. That's right. Only unpublished. Okay, very good. All right, and then finally, so this is only a few of our customers use this today, but this is really important. And this came from a customer a couple of years ago whose chief strategy officer wanted to build an internal dashboard to see the results of all their activities across the FI. So now this has become more and more prevalent. So we have 5 or 6 now that have this desire to create a business intelligence dashboard for the whole of the company. That's so it pulls together data across the FI, say branch-based data, new account-based data. Well, they also want to pull in impressions and clicks and so forth. So you can pull all of that data out of DTarget specifically and directly, and you can do it in multiple ways. So this analytics API is a part of the product. You can actually go into Excel and you can pull data directly out of DTarget into an Excel spreadsheet. And it has the ability to display product results in a graphical format as well. But this example here, let's see, is this the one? Yeah, that was the, sorry. This is Microsoft's Power BI. And with just in a matter of 15 minutes, using their widget capability, you can attach to the DTarget Analytics API and create these types of graphs, as well. So be aware of that. If your CTO, CIO, or head of data analytics said, hey, can we get data out of, or how do we get data from? It's readily available right now. Okay. All right, great. So finally, so that's a great overview of what we offer. There's more, and we'd enjoy any questions you have, but 2 more things I want to remind you guys. Don't forget that we released our new Spendfluence capability, and you can turn that on. We've turned it on in review meetings with the customers over the past couple of months. It came out in March, and this is the new display of these horizontal-based ads. And it's both in mobile, it can be in online. And this is an example of it scrolling in the online Banno environment as well. So check that out. And if you have any questions, let us know. Again, all the impressions are captured and clicks and so forth. We've got this one on the left here spinning kind of fast, but I think you'd enjoy trying it out. In fact, Heather loved it so much in our meeting with her about a month ago. Her team turned it on immediately and they all saw it on their iPhones and were really excited about it. So that was great. She thought it really looked cool and modern. And even Jim over here at Common Trust said it's a massive upgrade to the old style banners and ads. So great for that. And then the last thing, reminding you, because you've probably seen an email from me about managed services. So we can fly that plane for you as well. And we've got Jim on managed services. He says it's been incredible. It's like having one of our experts, on staff for you. So we've got 8 customers today and climbing, and a bunch more interested right now. So think about it. If you'd like to add us to your team, we'll help you get that job done. Okay. All right, Helen, Java Joy time.
Okay. Today's winner,
Hold
let's
your
see who's on, is Rosalina Vergara.
Rosalina, woo!
Rosalina, yeah. Congratulations, Rosalina.
Congratulations, Rosalina. Watch for an email from me, and then an e-gift card from Starbucks coming to you shortly. Okay. So thank you guys so much for being here. Next month, June 22nd, we're going to talk about the web. Little known, we can place ads on your website directly from DeepTarget, and that's part of your product right now, and it's free in the product. And we're going to show you how new account acquisition actually can be helped when you do this. So we have a whole new set of capabilities about that, or use case about that, if new account acquisition is important to you. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. We hope you have a great week. Call us if there's anything we can do to help you. Thank you, Helen.
Have a great rest of the month and good Memorial Day
That's right.
holiday.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Everybody have a bye-bye.